ago, and the
Go ahead.
timing seemed right. Oops, the other recording for
Lo-
me.
what was Lori talking about?
She had a guest on that talked about it, Rodney Lavoie.
Yes, he's all about it. Yes.
Yeah, so and she talked about it herself, doing it for a while, and I think that kind of broke the ice for me at wanting to address some GI issues that I have been ongoing and have tried everything and was pretty much ready to turn into I didn't want to have to go into the healthcare system. I a lot of experience knowing how that wasn't going to help me. So
Mark.
so I thought I'd give it a shot. I'm pretty free spirited, and I just jumped in. And it also was a huge motivator to change my diet, which I've been wanting to do for a long time. So yeah, going at it. Pretty easy start though, I've been doing it like, I don't know, 7 or 8 weeks, maybe a little looping after about the first 2 maybe, but not fasting, intermittent fasting. Really, really unbelievable.
What percentage of your diet is raw foods?
Not enough. That's a journey. That's a huge jump for me. I'm still like transitioning, and my family, transitioning kind of and accepting. They've been great, but I do a lot of the cooking. So, well, I shouldn't say that. I used to, but a lot of patterns and habits that are,
they're programmed.
Takes time. Programmed. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm realizing. Just amazing programming that I have. So.
And it's prior to your generation too.
Oh, I know. I do know that. Yeah.
And if we can go back before the 1950s with television, if we can go back before there was print and advertising, where they can manipulate social thinking and behaviors, then we weren't affected as much. We were probably healthier back in the 1900s or 1800s.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a little bit about that. Just from I jumped into the cannabis industry for a while, which I love. I love what cannabis can do to help people heal. So that was kind of my middle ground. Still, yeah, and I still use cannabis. Not anywhere near as much as I used to, but
for the CBD or THC or both?
A little of both. Nothing extreme. It's more of I developed this habit of using it before I work out, like a plant medicine type journey. Very, very psychedelic. So that'll be, I'm like, I don't want to need anything. So it's a journey though. I still like my cannabis.
Sure.
I'm not giving it up yet.
2014, I put together a company called Hemp Living Foods, Hemp Live Foods Company. And we were going to bring hemp microgreens, either fresh or powdered, to the planet.
Oh, really? Wow. Wow. Okay. So you're on board, the health. It's crazy what that plant can. It's got in it.
However, even though we pulled it together, we figured out production, we figured out warehouse, we had our business plan, we were pulling in the money. The business partners, as well as myself, in 2016, all decided to go in different directions. And it excuse me, it was in 2017. My first book on urine therapy drops in.
Wow.
And once this got published and it got put up and sold all over Amazon world, I was on radio show after radio show and television shows, and after about 35 interviews and talk shows, my career just went viral. And then I produced 2 more books after that. And I've been nonstop putting together this infrastructure for the planet with a nonprofit here in Boulder called Shivambu.
That's amazing.
So
that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I've watched some of your videos and really think you're doing incredible.
I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
I've been paying attention to the creator. It makes it a lot easier.
I can tell. I feel that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hmm.
So we got all kind of things um, I wrote down to announce. And right now, you and I are the conference call.
That's funny. I'm so ambitious.
I know.
Yeah,
What did, you had a YouTube channel. Is that where I was looking at your videos?
yeah, I do. I do have a YouTube channel. Yeah,
Well, you've been putting out a lot of content.
I have. Not many people want to hear what I have to say. They're
Ironic.
not ready for it.
You're
They're
good
not ready for
company.
it. What?
Well, do you feel there's a turning point or a tipping point for your message and your presence to be more accepted?
I do. I do. I felt called to kind of stand in certain situations where I am embedded in the systems right now with my children,
Hmm.
and kind of just be the light, just shine, because people are just, I know what um it's like to be immersed in those systems and feel like, there's no other way to see
Hmm.
your own any diagnoses we have. And I just have such a heart of compassion for the special needs population and people that are just set
Hmm.
up in so many ways to not even have a chance. So so I feel like I've pushed the envelope trying to expose this like very like pharmaceutically driven population to cannabis and to spirituality, and you know I just keep going.
Yeah, well,
But
don't
yeah,
stop. Don't stop. And here's a reminder for you and anybody else who's picking up on this call. As long as you put the Creator first, you've heard the expression, seek ye first the kingdom of God or the kingdom of love, you will be bulletproof. Bulletproof from germs, bulletproof from um, enemies, bulletproof from negative thinking, bulletproof from the opinions of others, and your message will hit a wider audience.
yeah, yeah. I think I know that intuitively. I feel that. I think I have a lot of egoic drive too still that I'm working out. But yeah, I love that.
Well, according to Wayne Dyer, ego was designed as an earth guide only, not as your servant, and not as your master.
Right.
So, as an observer, you can see the ego doing its thing and not letting it run the show or try to get in front of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Easier said than done after, being a control freak for a long time.
Yeah, how'd
Yeah.
that turn out?
Not so good. Not so good.
That's okay. Well, somebody gave me a bumper sticker, which I get a lot of views. The bumper sticker says, "Relax, nothing's under control."
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's been a series of figuring that out bit by bit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, do you have a vision of where this shivambu movement might be headed?
Do I personally? I think, I've thought about it and I've listened to your insight at that it really is um like the new way in a lot of ways. That really it's kind of where we're headed. But I think that that is a long road for a lot of people, and that's probably my ego coming in. And I don't ever like doubt it that could be. I think that I'm like blown away that I didn't know about this earlier. And
And now you do.
yeah, I do. Yeah. So I don't know. I definitely think that it's could save a lot of people.
It could
Is
save a
saving a
lot of
lot of people.
people. It could save a lot of money. We would not be so big of a consumer. We wouldn't need the medical industry, insurance companies, funeral directors. There's a whole lot of stuff. You won't need the cosmetics and the hair products and underarm deodorant and skin care. You won't need any of that stuff. You won't need a television. You won't. Most of the things that we have in our world in our life right now can go away.
Oh, I am right on board with you. Yeah. Yeah.
So, knowing that there are over 30 million people practicing Shivambu in 50 countries, and that figure was of 2 years ago, It's been exploding ever since, thanks to
It's
names like
awesome.
Randy and Lori and some other voices that are putting their practice at risk and being a loud voice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When she came out about that, that was a big one. A lot of people I know. I have a friend in her group that started at the same time as me, and it's just beautiful, beautiful.
She did a interview. She did a little like a 60-second reel with this one guy, and she was in her car talking about, well, if you rub it in your hair gets thick.
Oh,
And
Phil Good.
that was feel good. Okay,
Yeah,
and then I started posting it. People didn't know if she was serious or kidding.
she was serious. He
Yeah,
was giving her crap for it because he's not there yet, or yeah. So, yep.
and if you could hook me up with Lori, I would love to do an interview with her.
You know what? I could do my best. Your email, I have your email now. That's what I'll do. Because I saw you in the Shivambu hut when I first jumped in, and I tried to send her an email, but I didn't have your email address. So yeah, I'll reach out to her. I don't know her personally, never been on with her, but she does. They do respond. Her brother does her
Nice.
stuff. So yeah, I'll give it a shot. Happy to.
Good. I shot an email out to Randy, or was his name Rodney?
Rodney. Yeah,
Yeah, no
yeah.
response yet. I think I sent it out by Telegram, Instagram, some kind of gram.
Right.
So, you know who Monica is? Monica Schuler.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you
I've
hear?
watched
Did
Monica.
did you hear my announcement? We're working on scheduling an interview together,
Oh, awesome. That's great.
and
Yeah.
we've been doing this dance for the last 4 years,
Really? Oh, that's funny.
trying to get on the same screen. We would talk about each other in our own private ways, like when she was in
Yeah,
being
yeah.
interviewed with Tuche Zagalo. I got brought up in the conversation. I said I want to be in the conversation.
Yeah. Well, that'll happen. I bet. I
No
think the
doubt.
momentum's there, and yeah, you've got lots of supporters. So yeah, yeah.
So, one of the things I'm working on, I've got several things going on right now. Manifested this beautiful graphics designer out in California,
Oh,
and,
that's awesome.
and she's like a virtual assistant. She puts together promos for talks, for classes, for conferences, for my work, everything. And we're working on taking this book. This is exciting news. Anybody who's watching, including Jill, we're taking the original book. We're going to shrink it down so it's hand size. We're going to cut down the content so it's just the bullet points of the why, what, and how
Hmm.
about urine therapy and all the questions, and make it really affordable so people can just buy a bunch of them and pass them out to people in person.
Wow, that's great. Kind of like
Hari
yeah.
Krishna.
He's read my mind.
Well, you're in the water family. That happens. But I've always felt from the beginning that you're in the Shivambu movement was a ministry for me.
Yeah.
And the people who answered the call felt the urges, didn't have a mind talk or belief system they had to unravel, are the ones that we know as Shivambu devotees. They're the enthusiasts who will never turn back. They're not going to stop talking about it. They're in it for the long haul.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Um,
A lot.
I'm surprised by the note. I guess the fasting is. I'm not quite ready for that. The intermittent fasting and whatnot, but yeah,
Yeah.
I heard what's her name, Monica. Oh boy,
She's right now
yeah.
she's on day 12.
Holy crap.
So fasting is simply, you've done fasting?
I have not a lot, but
Okay, well, cheers, by the way. We didn't do communion. Did you bring any water with you?
I have some coconut water,
Let's call it what it is. Holy water.
holy water.
Here's to your health. Here's to your freedom. Here's to your journey. Here's to your joy. Cheers.
Awesome. Cheers.
So we're doing lots of things with a lot of people, a lot of collaborations going on. Um, I feel the tipping point is here already. The paradigm shift is already moving forward because with all the people who have given up, frustrated, and walked away from the medical
Mm.
industry that are desperate and
Perfect
looking for
timing.
answers. Oh, yeah, perfect time to drop the seed into humanity. And so, what I've been teaching the family is you got to put aside all your considerations now and learn how to talk in a language they'll hear you.
Yeah, I have mentioned it to as many places or people as I can, even, but it is, I have to use judgment on who I mentioned it to. But yeah, I have a lot of people that are open to it, people in the health freedom community mostly. But yeah, I think they have to be at a certain point. At least that's what I see personally. And that was for me. I don't know if I would have been ready. Yeah, they have to at least be alternative health oriented, I'd say.
The universe only gives you what you're ready for.
Hmm.
And so if you have any mind talk about, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? And it's up for you and it's what arose in you, you're ready.
That's good.
Whether your mind's fighting it or not.
That's tough. Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah, I think more and more I'm being able to just come from my heart. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the biggest change that I've noticed, and that like things just bubble up. I can't hold it back. So
Before, before. You're a fluid, mercurial being. And we do better off when we don't either get stuck or have things that are stuck. And you'll notice if you haven't already that when you're anxious and nervous and scared and confused and paralyzed, you're stuck. And when you get in that position, your chances are not you're not breathing.
true.
So pull that out of your spiritual first aid kit right away.
Yes, the breath. Yeah,
The breath will free you from your mind. Now let's go back to fasting again.
sure.
Fasting is a conscious vacation from food. All right. And when you take a break from food mindfully, you get to find out how much you've been a slave to it, how much the addictiveness, the obsessiveness, the fear around it, the dogma around food,
The planning.
all of, yeah, oh yeah, the planning, the cleanup, blah, blah. With that not running you anymore, life takes on a whole nother
Hmm.
quality.
Yeah.
So I notice when I do an all day Orin fast, you're familiar with that word?
Hmm.
Okay, if I'm doing all day Orin fast, somewhere after doing work and clients and yard work and doing my 3.5 mile hike and following up this, that, and the other thing, I still have energy around 6, 7 o'clock at night, and I don't remember thinking about food.
Wow.
The cravings didn't show up, and it was just like a whole nother reality. It was just wonderful.
Wow. I think one thing that I struggle with is weight loss. I've been a runner for God knows how long, and I've heard some people talk about this, I think on some of either it was in some forum, that, yeah, since I started, I have lost weight and I don't need to. So I think people have a little level of concern, but I've read, or what I've learned is that it will rebound,
It'll reset. Yep.
reset, reset.
Mm-hmm.
So does that require that? I don't even know like what to expect, like on timelines or
There's that timeline.
this. Yeah, right. It's
Let me remind you.
intuitive.
Thank you. You knew I was going to say that.
I did.
It's an intuitive medicine. All right. Just about 5:30 this morning, I've been up for an hour, and I get this video call from this guy Ramesh from Nepal with his wife, and he's talking and asking me questions about healing this and healing that, and using urine therapy. He says, "Well, how long will it take for this condition to turn around?"
I don't
I said,
know.
you know what? You can't get a fixed answer, a timeline, because it all depends on your diet, your exercise, your attitude, your spiritual practices. It's not a simple formula.
Yeah.
But you got to be proactive. If you're proactive, that thing speeds up. If you're doing enemas with Orin, if you're doing fasting, if you're doing foot soaks, massages, it goes a lot quicker.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I haven't done all those. So
Right. And the catch is it cannot turn into a been there, done that and go back to sloppy eating and living.
yeah. And that's, I like right now, I'm determined to not let that happen, like establishing the habits. Oh, someone else.
That is a fake number. I know that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So
Discipline.
discipline. Yeah. Yeah. I think I have a tendency to be obsessive. So try not to cross over into obsession and letting it be intuitive, like you say.
Yes. Take a breath. I've been a breath worker for 42 years, so I'm constantly reminding people, breathe, breathe,
Uh,
breathe.
yeah, that's a new concept to me. I think I did started doing Wim Hof like a year and a half ago. So but that was really all I knew about breath work was Wim Hof. Um, so I've learned a little more since then, but yeah, wow. There's
Yeah,
so much that we aren't taught.
there's so much
That's
that we're
or that
lied to about. Oh, we're not
lied
taught.
to about. Yeah.
I mean, if they told us in school that our urine would heal us uh, and that it would liberate us, I think a lot of students would walk out of class.
Yep.
I don't need the rest of your teaching. That's all I need. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's everything comes a tumbling down.
If they taught us critical thinking, if they taught us how to use our intuition, if they taught us self healing and self love and self worth, it'd be a whole new world.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think now is just the time people are catching on. Um, even in small ways, I see it. There's a lot of people that are really still embedded in certain ways of operating, but
Mm-hmm.
time.
They're coming around now. Back to the weight gain
Yeah,
conversation. First of all, do have a weight that you have in mind that would be ideal if there's such a thing.
not really. I
Okay.
think, it's just been a little bit of an energy dip. I don't care so much about any kind of, I threw out scales a long time ago. I struggled with eating disorders. I just try to just go by how I feel and the energy level I have. And so I definitely had a dip in energy level. Not throughout the day, but when I try to work out and stuff. So you know what, for me, that's like allowing me to look at my obsession with that and just going for walks and taking it easy, a little bit easier. So that's been like kind of my process, just letting it be.
That'd be a great name for a song, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's been taken. So it's all going to boil down to, I mean, designing your ideal diet, having your ideal body, having the health of a lifetime is going to all boil down to you being okay with you. When we get to that powerful mantra, I'm okay, a lot of things that we thought wasn't right in our life tends to fall aside and things start opening up
Mhm.
and you're more in the flow that way. And it also helps to have a clean gut.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm still working on that. It's much, much better, but God only knows what I might have been diagnosed with.
Well,
Didn't want to know.
doesn't matter. That's
Doesn't
history
matter.
now. The point of the matter is that you're here,
Yeah.
and everything you did in life prepared you for now, including all the tools that you've been studying and learning, are putting you in a position where you can fully live a life of purpose and do your work in a big way.
Mm, I'm feeling that.
Yeah, for all the people who are questioning, well, what is my work? What is my mission? Why am I here? I said, well, maybe you're here to just to enjoy yourself, and you can make up a story if you want, or just you know do what you love, and that will be why you're here.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to let go of this need to have nailed down some external um, definition of being here, purpose. I
Yeah,
know you know.
yeah, it's the same as people have to still identify themselves as something.
Yes, yes, yes.
You're a teacher, you're a nurse, you're a healer, you're whatever it is. And underneath it all, you're just a being who gets to
Just
express
being,
herself and enjoy herself and, have a great life.
yeah, I think that's easier for me than probably a lot of people because I didn't have a lot of degrees or professional, like something that I could like say I'm this or I'm that. I just kept no, that didn't happen for me. So
Yeah.
yeah, all lived experience.
They're all lived experience. Now I can look at all these books. I've produced 8 books so far. These are coming out in German and Arabic and Portuguese and Japanese, and that's very exciting. And these are my legacies. These are my babies. Since I was married 22 years and my wife had her tubes tied, so we never had babies.
Oh wow,
So here's my babies.
those are your babies. Beautiful.
And what a ride! What a ride!
Yes. Yeah, I have five kids.
Congratulations! And
Thank you.
they're scattered around the world. They live next door.
Nope, yeah, three of them have some significant special needs. So one is from a first marriage and he's doing great. He's down in Alabama. And then the other four are around where I live. One's about to graduate from high school, one's about to graduate from college, and then I got one in a group home and one that lives with us. So yeah, it's been a ride.
It has been a ride, and you ain't seen nothing yet.
I'm sure.
I mean, every day we get blessed with miracles. Every day we get bump ups in our growth. I mean, there are days where I can feel evolution and understanding and ahas happening throughout the day. At the end of the day, I have to have a reality check. Like, who am I now? Well, I'm doing what now with my life? I live with who? What?
I feel you. I not quite to that extreme, but a little taste of that. A lot of different chapters where I'm like, where am I? Who am I? Yeah.
Yeah, and living in a grateful heart throughout the day changes a lot of things.
Mm, yeah.
And this I've noticed, my life, I've noticed, Jill, the things that are falling in place without efforting, without making it happen, without trying to control an outcome. It's been a joy to be alive right now.
That's good to hear. I think efforting, yeah,
Overrated.
it's overrated. It is, I'd say I'm not quite to that level of like not efforting though. I catch myself. That's what happens now. Like, oh, this is just so much work. So
Yeah, so you can allow it, since you're a master, you can allow it to be easy and effortless. You can also be open to people giving you what you want and not having to settle. And you can also be open to receiving the cooperation and assistance from those you want to receive assistance and cooperation from.
hmm, yeah,
There's a reason you and I are having this talk today because it's time for quantum healing. And I notice this, I know my ego wants to jump in on this, but I've noticed time and time again the people who showed up in my life and we shared a talk, we shared a video, whatever, their life took a quantum leap. Their success, their career kicks off. I noticed all kinds of things were shifting with the people who I met.
really. Yeah, I imagine. I'll be done at 1:30, honey.
And by right of association, you are now connected to everybody on the planet I know.
That's awesome.
So can you work with 3 million friends?
I could do I sure can. Hi, friends.
Hi, guys. Me
This
and
is a
Jill.
crazy lady here.
But you got to keep an eye on her. She's changing the world.
Thank you.
You're
That really
welcome.
means a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's been a process of like efforting and then stepping back and saying, this isn't right. I'm out of alignment. And just surrendering. And yeah,
I agree. Remind yourself this: I'm open to the possibility of having everything be easy and effortless now.
I'm open to the possibility of
Possibility of everything being
everything being
easy
easy
and
and
effortless
effortless.
now.
But now,
Okay, this is what I teach my students. Whatever you've been challenged with, whatever difficulty, whatever triggers, whatever it is that's been bugging you, was before this moment.
Mm,
It happened before you got to this moment. Now, in this moment, if you give yourself new instructions and you're open to the possibility of having it play out the way you prefer, and that's your pure intention, then that's what will happen. It's a
mm.
matter of the perception has to be shifted
I gotta think on that.
or feel on that. Either.
Feel on that.
Now, these are the three power statements I'm going to tell you, so
Okay,
you can remember it or write it down if you want.
got my pen.
Oh, I love you. She comes prepared. Were you a Girl Scout?
For a little while. I wasn't a good Girl Scout, but
I was a Boy Scout until they started bringing Playboys on the hike. I'm going, what? We got corrupted at 11 and 12. Anyway, the first power, these are all incomplete sentences. They're known as a sentence
okay.
stamp. Number one, up until now, last word, draw a line to the right. Up until now, and how that one works is you're gonna fill in the complete the sentence with what it is that's been difficult for you up until now.
Okay.
Number two, I am open to and breathe when you do these things. Number two, I am open to the possibility of, and draw a line to the right. Now, when you say I'm open to the possibility of, what happens is the angels who have been on standby all of a sudden rush in and they assist you.
Oh boy, I felt that.
So when you say you are open to the possibility, you're declaring this a possibility. Number three, I choose to know. Draw a line to the right of it. Here's how that plays out. Every time you say, I don't know this, I don't know that, I don't know, blah, 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 you're telling the universe you don't want to know. Keep that wisdom aside for now. The moment you say, I choose to know, it drops in and you know it.
Wow.
Kind of reminds me of a scene in the Matrix movie. You saw the Matrix?
Yeah.
All right. Remember when Trinity and Neo are on the roof with a helicopter about to liberate Morpheus from the hands of
Oh
the
yeah.
the agent. So what did Trinity say? Now
I
remember, she's
don't.
in the Matrix. She's back in the chair on the ship. She says,
Right.
"Download the helicopter pilot program." In 30 seconds, she knows how to pilot a helicopter. Boom, she's in the helicopter.
Wow.
And that's what we can do.
I believe it.
I choose to know.
I choose to know. Wow, those are powerful.
Unless you
Thank you.
use them. And if you use them,
Oh, I'll use them.
great, great. Then that was a good call today, all you guys who were watching this.
Thank you.
So Doc Mike is driving to Dallas. He came here to help Vijay Gupta. I don't know if you heard his little story.
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. How's he doing?
He's back home with his wife, healthcare providers. Doc Mike was given personal training and healing modalities for the last 4 days. But he's got to get back to Texas because he left his clients there, his shotgun, his golf clubs, important stuff.
Yeah.
And then he's going to drive back and get back to working with VJ. Now I'm going to go this afternoon, the next couple of days, and do body work and reflexology and help him out that way.
Awesome. That's it. I think I heard one episode where he was really not doing well and like possibly on death's door, and then
And if we left him in the hands of the doctors, they would have already had him in hospice, or they would have put in COVID vaccinations and killed him.
yeah.
As it is, he went in there, he tested negative for COVID, and they somehow decided he had COVID and gave him remdesivir, whatever the hell that is, 3 shots of it without asking his wife, who has medical power of attorney.
Wow.
So I
Wow.
hope he sues him. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Well,
we got him out of there twice. He had to go back twice because when they put in the catheter to help him urinate, they didn't put it in correctly the first time. So his bladder was backing up. Anyway, so that's
poor guy.
and he's been doing urine therapy since 1984, and he's one of my mentors.
Wow. Wow. That must have been yeah, turnaround to be able to help.
Now here's exciting stuff. Indira, his wife of 49 years, unbeknownst to the hospital and the doctors, have been sneaking in her 3-year-old urine and his, and giving him oral, feeding him, massaging him, everything. And I think that turned it around.
I bet. Wow, that's brave.
Well, she loves her
Brave.
husband.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And I tasted her 3-year-old,
Yeah.
and it tasted like soy sauce. I mean, it was really dark. I'm going, okay, fine. And then Doc Mike, who was here, he mailed his 12-year-old. He had a dropper full of his 12-year-old. And that
And
was
emailed it.
kick-ass. I tried some of that. That was pretty amazing.
Wow. Wow.
So I was going to bring Doc Mike on the call. Him and another member of our Shivambu board have decided that they want to do a Shivambu exchange program and have people ship their urine through the mail so that everybody can get the immunity anti-antigens and factors from other people.
Oh boy. Wow.
And we can have uber immune systems.
That's quite an idea. Yeah, I don't know. I'm
I
still at
thought
like,
I thought like how do you, and can you imagine what a United States Postal Service clerk would think when he starts smelling things and opens them
and if
up?
they break, I had a problem with cannabis stuff shipping in like liquid form and breaking.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Doc Mike came up with this plan. I don't know if it's genius yet, but he's got some kind of cotton something or other, and he's been drying them out, right? 24 hours. He's drying them out, and he's going to ship it. It won't be a liquid. They could ship it and then rehydrate it.
oh my gosh, there's an idea.
It's a pisser. I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. Yeah. Wow.
You drink enough of this and you snort enough urine and you open up your pineal gland and you hydrate your sinuses, I think it reactivates the genius machine.
I believe it.
I mean, you know stuff you didn't know before. I'm going, okay, so we're thinking outside of the box. Maybe there never was a box.
There's no box.
There
I
never was.
there never was a box. Yeah.
There never was limitations either, but somehow we got convinced.
So convinced.
So there's hope.
Yeah.
There's definitely hope.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to interact with some of the Water family and the social media platforms?
Not much. I'm pretty much been doing a lot of observing, reading. Um, if I use those groups, like I'll search if there's something that I have a question on, and
And you'll drop it in there.
drop it. Yeah, and I usually can find something in the search history that answers it, so I don't have to. I haven't posted anything. The weight thing, even I've seen some people posting on that, like you said, you said the same thing. Kind of let it be, just listen to your intuition and
And drop
be
the concern.
drop it. Yeah, drop it.
And that's one
Yeah.
of the reasons people are overweight and underweight, because of their fears, because of them being on defensive mode. I mean, this spare tire thing is basically your cushion from fear of attack.
Yeah.
And it's the same with people who are underweight. So it's a matter of getting your terrain back in check, back in balance.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm focused on, or seems to be seems to have been a natural progression, or is.
It
But
is.
yeah, I feel like I'm still so at the beginning that I just am like observing other people, listening to as much as I can. And like I said, I have this friend that's been doing it at the same time. So we talk a lot and
Nice.
she's compare notes. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the support though.
Good. Well,
Like,
there's a lot of it, like in the Shivambu hut and some of the Telegram groups. People help each other out in tight spots. People allow folks to be honest and transparent. I mean, it's the kind of family where you can talk about a subject you can't talk about with anyone else.
yeah, you're already there at ground level. So yeah,
You're already there, and you can't
yeah.
mess up.
No, yeah,
So it's a
it's pretty
great
cool.
community to interact with when you get a chance.
I will. I will. Yeah, it takes me a while to like jump out and let my guard down a little bit, but I will. also and I think have sometimes I have a tendency to overextend myself, and I'm trying to just not do that, just kind of stay in the day and not be so pulled into like this group, that group, this group, just kind of sit back and watch the action and
I'm
see what
glad,
people are.
I'm glad you said that, sweetie, because a lot of that is a distraction.
Tell me.
And a lot of it will zap your energy. And a lot of people who get lost in that have got the drug addiction or the hopium going on.
It's like
They want the
adrenaline
next
rush.
fix. What else are they
Oh,
going to say? Who else is going to save us from the enemy? Who else is going to come through and,
right.
get the devil off the planet? I'm going, you still got to handle your life. Come on.
No one is coming to save you.
I'm ready to
I want
dance.
to yell that at people, but I used to think that way. So, you know,
I did too. I went down the rabbit hole through the conspiracy rabbit hole and the truthers movement back in 1991. My wife and I went as deep as you can imagine, and we decided that our U.S. government was not our friend. So we went to New Zealand, and something
wow.
changed. And 9 months later, we ended back in Hawaii. We moved back to the United States, and after coming home to the United States, we found out this: the problem was not the United States government. The problem was all governments. And so America looked great when you came back.
I bet. I bet. Wow. That's a good way to get it, let it sink in deep.
Yeah, that also means what we can do for humanity is not necessarily get out on the streets, hold signs, and protest, and be a voice that involves you with, the political scene, the whistleblowers, and the truthers, blah blah blah. But do what you can to lift, acknowledge, and praise everybody.
Mm,
Help them find their balance.
yeah. Yeah. I couldn't get pulled that far into the like the picketing and all that stuff. I did find I was of the other political party for a long time before I'd say
7 years.
2019. I was pretty much more Democrat, and it's a huge turnaround.
Yeah.
Um,
What changed?
um, the whole COVID thing. That's what did it. My daughter, my one that's in a group home, interestingly enough, she was always obsessed with Trump and very conservative, held her ground in a family where everyone was against her. And yeah, but even me and, coming to the turnaround and being like, hey, she had some points. Not that I think either there needs to be parties or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I had been just of one mindset. So, but yeah, COVID was it. I could not believe people were buying this crap.
Well, I had personal experience. My roommate had a roommate of 4 or 5 years. When my wife died, I moved in with this gal, and she was addicted to CNN, and she was addicted to television and news. And she would say to me, "Well, you keep your head in the ground. You don't pay attention to what's going on in the world, blah blah blah." And then COVID hits, and she was wanting me. Oh, here comes Chit, who's out in Montana, whose real name is Matt. I will let him in. Then I'll tell you the story.
Okay.
Hi, Chit.
Hey, brother.
Love
Sorry.
the hat. Love the hat. Is that from Joseph?
Yeah, it's from Tim.
Tim. Okay, I forget he has multiple names. So what happened was I was living with this gal and she was a CNN freak, and she thought things on the news were real. And she said we got to wear a mask and you got to sanitize your hands, blah blah blah. And I was totally opposite, blah blah blah. And the one thing that made me had to get the hell out of there. She says I couldn't bring my friends, I couldn't bring my clients because I was doing massage and reflexology in one of the rooms, and I couldn't bring my lovers. I said goodbye. I had someone come get me packed up in 24 hours. I was out of there, and she never asked for a 30-day notice.
Wow.
Right. And then I run into her 2 years later. She's still wearing a mask. She's still in paranoia mode.
Wow.
And that's the thing that really got to me is how scared and how paranoid people were.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those first 3 weeks or 4 weeks when COVID was coming around, and if something fell out of the air and I found a cough coming on, I'm going, don't, they can't see me
Yeah.
cough.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah. At the very beginning, I think I was a little nervous, but just a healthy dose of skepticism.
Yeah,
So,
well, uh, The light is coming a lot stronger. Yes, go ahead, Matt.
Really comes down to, have they ever actually isolated a germ, virus, pathogen and shown that it causes disease? They can isolate certain things that are in the presence of disease, for sure. That doesn't mean that it caused it.
Oh, yeah.
And then they haven't actually isolated a lot of the things they'd say that they've isolated. So it's a two-part statement. You got to isolate it, and then you got to show that it causes the problem. And in a lot of cases, it's just not true. It's just not true. It's really poisoning and detox, you know. Certainly
Right.
where we get the results is poisoning and detox. So, yeah.
And
And Dr. Tom Cowan is really like emphasizing how it's really about the isolation. Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, we'll just be kind of going around in circles with these people, to be honest. So that's my like prayer for the collective consciousness.
Thank you. I mean, to pull that one off would also expose every so-called viral attack and pandemic historically too. You know, from AIDS to SARS to
It's a lot for people to swallow that have bought it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's like a pretty thorough couple 100 years, if not
Ripped
more.
away.
Yeah.
ripped away. Put that in your history books.
Yeah.
So there's more good stuff going on despite the press and the narratives and all that stuff. I mean, how many people are still watching butterflies fly and rainbows show up in doubles and triples and the beauty of nature? I mean, are you still out in nature going, I don't see this on television. This actually feels good. I like it here. Matt, we were talking earlier before you got here about how much a lot of stuff people are putting their attention on is a distraction.
Yeah. I mean, I see myself do it all the time. Presence is the only thing I want, and it's really difficult at the same time.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really nice to know I'm not alone in that. Yeah. And of course I know I'm not alone, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell no. We all have to go through that. It's nice to know that there's a way out of it. As
Hi, Jill. I've never met you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah. Cheers. Where are you located?
Thank you. Central Massachusetts,
Oh,
Worcester, near Worcester.
I just left the East Coast. Yeah.
Okay, whereabouts?
I was in New York City for 4 years, and now I'm here in Montana. Yeah.
Oh, that's a big change.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, you know, you're saying Massachusetts. I'm like, oh yeah, the East Coast.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of tough mindsets to counter out here.
Yeah. Yes. I've definitely experiencing the contrast, and yeah, even out here, you know, there's a lot of addiction in Montana, right? So you got all this spaciousness and peace, but you know, it's too much to handle.
Interesting. People don't know how to go in.
It's the same with Colorado. Yeah, I live in Boulder, Colorado, and it's a big college town. So in the wintertime, the population drops 50,000 because of all the college students. But one couldn't help but notice that there's a dispensary on almost every corner. There's a liquor store every 6 blocks. There's pharmacies. There's, you know, recovery centers, AA groups. And these are college students. And these are the local people that are new agers that do yoga and meditate.
Wow.
I mean, it's not uncommon. I'd be sitting out in the parking lot ready to go in and do some kirtan and some mantras. And guys are out puffing joints out in the parking lot. I'm going, you need that to get to level so you can sing devotional music to God?
Yeah, that was me really not too long ago. And
you got
I get that
person. Oh, sorry.
No, I get it. Yeah. Some people, I don't know if they'd ever break through without, I have to be honest. I think some people might never ever get to a higher level without cannabis. So it brings a lot of people in, like psychedelic experiences. I know that's kind of how I came in.
Sure.
So yeah.
The P is helped me notice like the mucus forming stuff, and like pot was part of that mucus forming.
Really?
Thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Wanting to be clear of the mucus in the lungs. I could start to feel that with the urine therapy, 100%.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, if you stay consistent with urine therapy for a long time, I can tell like many more things will just become less and less tolerable for me. And I'm in like approaching 2 years, I guess. and
Wow.
that's what's happening, and it's only 2 years, so that's great.
That's good to hear. I'm only in like 8 weeks. So
Yay.
I still use my cannabis, and yeah, I have noticed the pull is less. It's not, it's
Do
it's
you
more intentional.
do you notice what you're feeling when you reach for the cannabis, or what inspires you to take it in your body?
To freaking relax a little. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I said before I work out, that's like, if I'm gonna do a hard workout, I'll use it then. And that's my plant medicine journey. And then sometimes when I have trouble sleeping too. So,
Okay.
but yeah. I mean, I think up until recently, it's been, yeah, I've tried not to judge myself for it, just let it be. And the pull is not what it was. And using edibles don't work at all. I don't know if the urine does something in the stomach to them, but they don't work at all. So they're out.
Good.
That's fascinating. I'm living with Tim Rogers here. He smokes a lot of weed, and he had just got his legs cut off. There's a lot of context here, but specifically, made him edibles, and I tried them and gave them to him. He was screaming in pain. He was coming off his pain meds, and the edibles like didn't work. Like you mentioned, didn't work for you. And we both drink pee. They worked fine for me, probably because I've been smoking a lot.
Maybe,
but
yeah.
it's confusing because, like, yeah.
Yeah, very confusing. I'm like, what?
Not like I think I could actually figure it out, but like, yeah, similar anecdotal story there. Yeah.
Huh.
What's Tim doing today?
Well, the screaming was like a day and a half. That's it. So that's great.
This was recently?
Yeah.
Did he lose his legs recently?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
wow.
been in the hospital process for like, almost a year. He came home recently. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he's quite moody, to be honest, and I get that. I get that. So
Yeah.
I'm not a full-on caretaker, so I'm learning a lot, and I'm trying to be open and compassionate, not take things personal.
Does he have other caregivers?
No.
Solo man.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's a very independent person.
Yeah, he is, and I've enjoyed his content and his posting over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
He's a big Shivambu fan.
Mm-hmm.
So, Joe, this is the guy. Tim Rogers is the guy who went to Yellowstone and using chalk, he wrote Shivambu across the entranceway to Yellowstone. And he's got shirts that are tie-dye like yours that has Shivambu on it.
That's great.
Does he still have a license plate that says Shivambu?
Oh, sure. Yeah, a couple cars. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then he jumps into the Shivambu social media world, and all of a sudden everybody's going, "You're great! Oh, I love your posts." I mean, he made a way for himself.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wonder how long that stayed up in Yellowstone. The
Who knows? But he took a photo, so it's eternal now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we hope to get some kind of wheelchair accessible van and go out there and draw more Shivambu.
Yay.
Yeah.
Has he had any conversation or plans about prosthesis?
Yes. Yeah. In general, I'm not able to get a lot of information out of him. He needs to teach me how to take care of him. He's not doing that. He's too independent. And, yeah.
Okay.
Enjoying arguments too. That's another thing.
Him or you?
Him. But, I don't want to speak badly about a guy. I mean, he's going through a lot of shit. I'm definitely learning a lot from your book, Leonard's book, Sage, about, senility and infancy consciousness. My God, does that reframe things? Holy crap.
Jill,
Wow.
we're talking about this book. It came out on 2/22/22.
Oh.
Just backwards.
And that's basically the day I showed up here too.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, Leonard Orr was the father of the rebirthing movement.
I'm gonna write it down.
And his wife gave me her blessings to revise it, edit it, and bring it to 2022 standards.
That's so cool.
You can get it
I
on
don't know
Amazon.
anything about it. Now I'm gonna go look it up, buy it.
So you can get it directly from me as a signed copy or from Amazon. But the part about the helplessness factor, you see, he healed his senility. And when he hit a certain age, I don't remember what his was, his late 50s. And he had what they said was senility, dementia, blah, blah, blah. And he kept feeling helpless. And Leonard he did a lot of breath work because, he was the breath master. And he would have memories and flashbacks of being a 2-year-old and having to rely, or 1-year-old having to rely on mom to change your diaper and to feed you. And he says, when you get to be an elder and you start reverting back to that and you have feelings of helplessness, he called it infancy syndrome. And he said that was more powerful than the birth memory and the birth trauma.
Wow.
And people in their 30s and 40s sometimes get senility syndrome.
Yeah. My dad had frontotemporal, but he had head trauma that was never addressed. And he lost it in his 50s, started losing it in his 50s. So,
So Leonard became the first senility graduate, and he healed it. And his story is in the book.
oh, that's awesome.
I didn't realize that the onset was in his 50s, because I know he died way later than that. That's really cool. Yeah.
He died in 2019. He was 92 or 93.
Oh,
And
man.
there are lots of parts in the book. He talks about physical immortality. And people say, well, how come he didn't make it? The guy's talking all about immortality. Well, the people who knew him the closest said he didn't handle his case as well.
He didn't handle his case as well.
He didn't clear his case. I mean, it could be anything from parental disapproval to unconscious death urges to a birth trauma, and it could be a series of different things.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we do in our journey, is to clear all the nonsense that we're still carrying around. But it's
and I think it's super compassionate to talk about how difficult this process is of excavating the soul. Talk about guilt. People feeling like they're not accomplishing this or that, and that's the problem with social media, is you don't really get the sense of what's really going on as much as you would in person. But I gotta say, I'm grateful to be part of this community. Better than nothing.
It's a terrific community, and it's not watered down. Pardon the pun. It's not a watered down community. By the way, the Shivambu Head has about 565 members right now.
Okay. Yeah, I signed up for it right at the beginning, but I haven't gone on it much. I found the Telegram groups and then the Facebook group. But I'll check it out.
Okay.
I'm a little high energy today. I'm sharing a lot. I'm connecting a lot of concepts, but I got another one of these, and this is something that can get mucoid plaque out of a gut like nothing else. I find on my fast, my body's using all this water to rehydrate the dried junk in my gut, and so I end up feeling really dry and shriveled on a fast. But I did one of these and I felt much less of that.
What is it?
It's called the Zen Cleanse intestinal one.
Post the link, Matt.
Sure, I'm writing it down.
Yeah, it's the first thing on my website. And so these are all different enzymes, and you take it in a particular way.
I see.
But basically, I don't want to tell people to fast until they take this thing, which is tough because, people like fasting because it's free, and this is like $200. But then I show people, if I get them to see the pictures of what came out of me, they get it.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'll look at it.
I'll send the link.
Yeah, send it.
And it's going to be also helpful for putting on weight. When you get mucoid plaque and the excess fecal matter that's been lining inside your intestines out of there, your body can finally absorb nutrition.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel that. I'm literally going in for round 2. Like, that's what this is. Like,
okay, good to know. I'll figure it out.
Right. There's a lot of skinny people, and they'll be like, I don't have any poop inside me. Not true.
Oh, I know I do.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, well, I wasn't talking to you in particular.
Okay, no, I'm a skinny person.
I've lost weight on urine therapy for sure. I mean, I'm at like, in the morning, I'm at 130 now. I was at 160 5 years ago. Yeah, and I'm healthy in general. It's just crazy, and how not emaciated I feel. Anyway, there's Zen Cleanse. I don't have an affiliate link yet. But
Thank you.
Yeah,
you.
sure thing.
I love hearing all this. I've not
Yeah.
been putting on weight probably the last 20 years. My body's kind of like stabled out at 160, and I've gotten comments from people online for years. You look skinny, you look thin, you look emaciated, da da da. I said I'm doing more projects, and I'm running circles around people in their 40s and 30s, and good luck. Keep up with me. You know, there's still image identified with the form has to be a certain way.
Yep.
Take a look at Elatom Elamine. He's a breatharian who travels the world, and he's muscular. He's in good shape.
Yeah, he I think knows how people see things, right? And thank God for him putting on that muscle. Fucking, that's amazing.
That would definitely help with the identity.
Yeah, I mean, the social media game. Yeah. Bartaji, this is the last thing I have to mention on this call. Reading your book. Bartaji is coming to the Kumbh Mela in 2114, right? Something like that. I'm there.
Yeah, I would go there.
Yeah.
Yep. Now he's a guy who would show up every 108 years.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still with us, Jill?
I'm still here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump off. I had something that I have to take care of with my daughter.
Okay, let's give her a hug.
Hugs back. I don't know how to do it. Thank you. Thank you for, I'm really glad that I came on.
Likewise.
Nice to meet you. How
Nice
do you
to
say
meet
your
you.
name? Is it Chit?
Yeah, I just changed it. It's Chit Sena. I'll have my last name on there soon. Yeah, I changed it from Matt.
Oh, okay.
Did
Okay,
a
I've
little
heard about
research on
you.
the numerology, and it seems appropriate. Yeah, but Chit, and you
Okay,
can make shit jokes. It's a really
you're
it's
okay
that
with
good of
that?
a name. You can make fun of me.
Cool, cool.
Beautiful. Jill, I'll see you on the 26th.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks.
See you again, Jill. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, bless you.
I'm talkative today.
So were you planning on being on a call today? Because we were the only guys who made it on a conference call.
I was. Sorry to say it, Sage. I know you're always posting and stuff. If you could post the Zoom link a little more loudly on your Facebook profile, just maybe post it once more. That's how I keep up with you.
You mean like a week ahead or a day?
No, I mean like day of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would help. God, that's so needy. I'm also wondering, what other people would need. Anyway, I gotta just put things in my calendar and actually fucking follow through on it.
Schedule, yeah.
Well,
right. I think it's an ebb and flow because we averaged 6 to 10 people on the calls, and once we had 45 people on the call, and it ebbs and it flows.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I tried asking people for donations. Right, and some liked it, and some people judged me for it, and then I dropped the donations, and it's hit or miss. I couldn't get a read on people.
Yeah, I think people who are in a spiritual, process have massive change in feelings from day to day, don't they? I do.
I do, and I have people in my life who like to challenge me to see if I'm at the same place that they are, because they're more enlightened than I am.
I think if you're challenging somebody, you're below that person, to be honest.
Yeah, it's the same with people attacking you. Those are the ones that are insecure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the beginning of this talk, I give all the all the announcements, including my upcoming talk with Monica Schuett.
Oh, good, it's happening. Yes.
It's happening, and we've been dancing around this for 3.5, 4 years. And I've been able to locate her. She's in a country which I'm not allowed to disclose. I'm going to honor that because this is an open line. But she's willing to talk with me. And after she had her talk with Tuche, I ended up talking to Tuche just the other night. I said, could you call Monica and tell her? So we're going to try it. Now, Monica lives in the here and now, so she doesn't like to schedule, which drove Tuche crazy.
I think that's what's happening to me too. It's not really a preference. It's like an inability. I'm just losing the bubble, man.
Yeah, well, you're being more spontaneous, right?
Yeah, I mean, all more reason not to smoke weed, because then that whole planning just goes entirely out the window. It's sort of like double on that. Like I used to not be able to plan because I was smoking weed. Now I can't plan because it's natural, and if I smoke weed, it's just fucking gone. So that's cool.
I can understand. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm surrounded by it, so if I'm not smoking, then I'm beyond it. So that's cool.
that's amazing willpower to be around it.
I think I thoroughly tapered out of it. Like if I was like always talking to myself and affirming and feeling the desire to quit, along with the practices that helped me quit for years, like 4 years at least, and kind of not feeling great about it for the full 8 years I was into it. But still like, doing it, wanting it, needing it.
And what has become your replacement?
The whole like my website has so many tools on it. It's the whole thing. Now, earlier I gave you the answer. My replacement was the nicotine pouches.
Right? And you stay with that for a while?
Yeah, I mean, I'm tapering off of those now too, and that's I only started on that like a month and a half ago, because it is spliffs with my friend, whereas tobacco and weed. Um,
So you're not dealing with tobacco, are you?
I was with the spliffs with the friend in New York. Yeah,
Was that a combination of cannabis and tobacco?
yeah, yeah. He would roll them.
Yeah, I had a client who would do that. I'd have him out on the reflexology chair out in the park, and he'd put the tobacco in the paper. Then he'd pull out the cannabis and he'd put it in the paper and he'd roll it up. And the conversations got pretty interesting at that point.
Yeah, it's toxic, mucus forming, life shortening, but the masculine energy of the nicotine, I guess, separating that out from the rest of the tobacco, and then the feminine of the weed is actually quite a cool combo. But yeah, you come down, you're in a worse place. Bottom line.
Yeah. Um, what was a strong pull for me, and I learned this years ago because I went through drug, sex, and rock and roll in college, and that was my epiphany. This is what life's about: drug, sex, and rock and roll. But I noticed I couldn't hold my awareness for very long. Being aware of love's presence, being aware of people's emotions, being aware of the situation, being aware what I needed to be aware of in case a red flag shows up and I've got to get out of a situation, or I can stay and melt and weave in with a woman or whatever the situation. And so that's something I keep coming back to. Am I fully aware in this moment as I could be, or am I consciously diminishing my awareness?
You say consciously diminishing your awareness. I mean, I guess either
If you're doing plant medicine like Karen Bowler, these guys go nuts with ayahuasca and DMT, and they just don't know when to dial it down. I'm going, so when do you hit the aha? You got it, you're aware, and you can walk away from that teacher.
It's a really simple question that I think people get already. It's just that simple, though. It's tough. Yeah, taper, go slowly. But yeah, I think my favorite method for quitting things is fill your life with other good things, which you do. Yeah.
Oh, I come home and my roommate wants to, talk about this or that, or he wants me to sit by the fire and have conversations, go in the back and have philosophical talks, blah, blah. And I come home going, okay, I did my stuff out in the world. Now I got to follow through on these emails, and we're putting together a class and and I am so purpose driven. I've overcome not all of it, but I was suffering. My challenge was laziness for a lot of my life. Right. And for me to be one of those kind of guys who borderlines between genius and madman, and you know that guy, I had to keep it in perspective about being OCD and still meditate and relax and trust that everything's going to work out. But I'm also noticing as the energy's there, I'm calm about whatever it is I'm doing at the moment. And even though there may be 4 other projects on the back burner, they're handling themselves. So whatever you need is going to show up in your present moment. It's like going to school. You had to learn like 5 subjects, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was nuts. But
It
is. Right. So a lot of people today are like they're juggling 5 or 6 subjects, projects, relationships, and you can only really do one at a time well.
Yeah, so you're talking about, well, you do have multiple things going, so you got to be extra sure that you focus your attention in. Yep. And you like to have friends and socialize. You're good at that, so I'm sure moving away from that is not easy.
Yeah, and I currently don't have a lover, so I don't have that distraction.
And
And
then I'm here with
Tim,
a pretty silent and stark situation, and it's just going to be a lot of rapid growth, but it's going to be pretty uncomfortable. To be honest, a lot of just fucking seeing the resistance, and not a lot to distract myself with.
yeah, but you're the guy who says when you're doing the nebulizer, you are wanting to create a detox.
That's right. That's
Well,
why
you
I'm here.
created one in this house.
Yep. I mean, I'm a Capricorn, long, slow processes. Capricorn moon too, sun, moon. Yeah.
So, who knows where I'm going to be this year? I've got a group out in California that's starting to form. I've got a group in Florida that's trying to form.
Hmm.
When I go away to the hot springs, that's my closest sensation of a road trip, even though it's like an hour away. I'm driving through the country. I'm driving up in the hills. I'm going, road trip, road trip. I'm only an hour away from home, but it feels like I've gone a farther distance.
Good. Yeah, I'm proud of you for up as you are, Sage. I really am. Thank you for doing this work for the Water family.
I love it. I got put in this position on purpose. My life was going one way, and all of a sudden, I'm on the stage of life, in the big world stage. I'm going, keep me humble, God. Keep me in the game. So every day there's a conversation, something going on with someone on the planet, either a student, a client, you, a collaboration, uh, and it's a joyful way to live.
Hmm. Well, the last thing I want to talk to you about is this name change. Yeah, you definitely helped inspire me in this direction, but I've been thinking about this for a while, and I respect my parents and I respect my family lineage, I guess. No, more than I guess. But um
And
yeah, yeah.
and what's the question about the name change? You've
I
already
just kind of want to.
you've
I mean,
already
I don't have many doubts about. I don't have doubts. I mean, I just have like, and I'm investigating the feelings, but I'm gonna do it. So I don't want to pose a question like, that's, I want you to make a decision for me. That's not where I'm at.
It's
I
not a
just kind of want to
technical
talk
question.
about it.
Is this more of a mental, emotional question statement? You
Well, I
is
guess
it,
the thing to ask you is really, what was your journey with your name change? Why'd you do it?
I did it because once I spoke the name and I heard the name, I said I like the feel of that. I like the sound of that because I've gone through 4 or 5 nicknames in my life, and they were appropriate at the time when I was a big raw foodie. Everyone knew me as a guy who teaches sprouts, and they were calling me Sprout. That was my nickname. When I married my wife, we were selling a product that had stevia in it. She says, "You know what? You're sweeter than sugar." She called me Stevia. And then one day I'm getting juice over at a Whole Foods store, and they said, "Hey, what's your name? You go in the store, we'll call you when your juice is ready." I said, "Write down Sage." It just popped out.
Huh.
And I started playing with it, and I was working at a health food store. I said, "Everybody, call me Sage. That's my name now." And it started weaving its way into my psyche, and then it morphed years after that into Brother Sage.
Hey, I love this. Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted to get out of this, because that's what happened with me. Shit. It came into my consciousness
Hmm. Yeah, for a
from
reason.
Satchitananda.
Hmm.
It's not just any old word.
Yeah. So it sounds like that's your name.
I think so. The numerology is of Chit Sena is 7. The numerology of Matt Sena is 3. And the difference in 3 and 7 is really like the transition that I feel like I'm making in my life right now with my Saturn return. So
Beautiful. Beautiful. So be it. It has been declared on a live call. All right. I got
and
to pack.
yeah, I like being here with Tim and helping out somebody who's lost his legs. I just want to be clear about that on the record. Yeah.
I think it's quite an honorable thing to do, and I acknowledge you for that.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Meanwhile, Meanwhile, I'm going to pack up and get over to the Guptas, help out over there.
Cool.
Blessings for now.
Yeah, the Guptas. Sorry, I'm just exhausted. The high energy calls. I was on this other one a second ago. The Guptas. I assigned the FLFE thing. There's a free pay it forward with every new subscription to their house, so should be background help. Sent you the evidence for how FLFE works. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. Just love to VJ. I'm sure he's going through his own infancy consciousness,
Big time.
difficulties.
Big time. He's got everybody nursing him and nurturing him, and I think inside he's sucking it up because he gets to be this king and this god, and everybody has to, massage him and love on him and treat him really well. And he's coming too. He's actually having longer conversations, intellectual conversations, and I can't wait to get there and to actually have a full out conversation with him other than, oh, hi, Brother Sage, it's good to see you. Will you work on my feet? I hear that a lot.
I just got new magnetic insoles that are really killer, and it's changing things in my body. I'll have to talk to you about that later.
Okay.
Yeah. Much love.
I'm going to namaste and head out.
Namaste.
Blessings. Chit, take care.